Hello everyone, welcome to ICRA Technology. This is the second part of our Power Query Editor lesson. Today, we will look at advanced ways to work with data, like combining tables, pivoting, and creating custom columns. Now, to practice Advanced Query Editor, you have to download this form date dataset and choose semicolon as delimiter when you load this dataset. Now let's jump to Power Query Editor. Here I have already connected this form date. First, we will look at splitting and merging columns. So here we have this date 1 column. Suppose if we want to see the year of formation of these countries separately, here we can see we have month, date and year together, but we want to see the year separately. So we can split this column into two parts. One is showing the month and date and other is showing only the years. So choose this column and in the transform window choose split column. In our case, we will choose by delimiter. Here we have so many options, so you can check them, but in this condition we will choose by delimiter because here comma is the delimiter. So choose the delimiter comma and click OK. So it will split the column by delimiter. Here we can see the characters before comma is in this column and characters after the comma means the year is in separate column. We can change the name by double clicking here and we can name this as year of formation. Now, if we want to merge them again, we can do this by selecting this column and press and hold Ctrl key and click on this column. Now we have selected both the columns. In the transform query, we will click on merge columns. It is asking for a separator. So we will again choose comma and you can give it a new name. So we will skip this and we will click on OK. Now we can see that these two columns have merged again. So now we will remove this step. Here, next we will see conditional columns. We can create a new column by specifying a specific condition. So if we want to see the years, the countries that are formed after 1960 and before 1960, so we can use the conditional columns. Let's say in this column, we will choose this column and click on conditional columns into add column section, conditional columns, and we will specify a condition. First is it is asking us for column name. So we will choose the column as year of formation. It is asking for an operator. So we will choose here is less than and value. We will specify 1960 because we want to see the countries that are formed before 1960, and if this condition will be true, we want to see the output as before 1960. So the year, it will show us the year that are formed before 1960. We can specify another condition by clicking here, add clause. Or for this example, we will set only one condition, and in the else we'll write after 1960. Okay. Okay, set a condition here. Year of formation equals to 1960. Then we will write 1960. Click on OK. Now we can see that the new column has created, and we can check this. Like if we have this year of formation 1962 here, it is correctly showing that after 1960. You can again rename this column. Here we have seen the conditional column also. So now after that, we can create some columns from example. So Power BI also lets you create new columns using example. For instance, you can make a column that combines the country name and year of formation into a sentence. So now select both the columns. I'll show you with example. Select country, and now press Control and press and hold Control key and click off year of formation. Now we can see both of these columns have selected, and now in add column we can see columns from example. Now it is asking for options from all columns or from selection. So we can make the example from all of the columns or from the selection that we have selected. So in this case we want from selection. Now it is asking for a sentence. So we can write that our first country is Algeria. So we can write Algeria. Has formed in and the year of formation is 1962. So here you can see that we have created a sample sentence, and Power BI will automatically create similar sentences for all the rows. We can cross check, like it has created Angola has formed in 1975. So yeah, it is right. Angola has created in 1979. So we can press enter. And click on OK. So our new column has created, and it is correct. So we have created a column from example. You can again rename this column. Now next we have the merge queries section. This is a useful if you have related data into two tables like countries and GDP. So download the GDP data from here. You can get all the data sets in this document. We can merge queries like this. We can merge the columns countries of the world and sheet 1, which is our countries information, because here we have a common column country. So we can combine these two tables on the basis of country. So we can get this region and population in this countries of the world table. So what we can do is we can select both these columns simultaneously. First, we will select sheet 1, and in the home section, we have this option of merge queries. So it is asking us for merge queries or merge queries as a new. So we can merge these two tables in this single table, or we can merge this and get a new table. So in this case, we want this in this table. So we will merge queries. And here we have this country table. And second table we want is countries of the world. And we want to connect these two tables on country. Now these two tables have connected. We can expand this and we can select the tables that we want from countries of the world. So we want all the columns except country, country code, region and population, because we already have these 4 columns in the first table. So we can click on OK. And now we can see all the columns added, but we can see that countries of the world is the prefix of all the columns that we don't want. So we can undo these steps, undo this step and expand the column again. Deselect all the columns again and uncheck this box which is saying use original column name as prefix, because we don't want this, and click on OK. Now we are getting the column names properly. So it was how we can merge the queries. Next we have pivoting and unpivoting columns. So unpivoting is the opposite of pivoting, and we can convert. It is helpful when you have many columns with similar data like yearly values. We will see the data set here. Here we have pivoting and unpivoting. You can download this GDP 2000 to 2016 to practice the pivoting and unpivoting. Here we have this data set. Now we will clean this up a bit. We will remove the top 3 rows which are not useful, and we will promote the first row as headers. Here in this data we can see we have GDP from 2000 to 2016. So we have so many columns but having same values. These columns are containing the years of GDP. So we can convert these columns into rows. We have to select the first column and go to the last column. Press and hold the shift key and click on the last column. So we have selected all the columns between 2000 to 2016. And now in the transform window, we have unpivot columns option. Unpivot columns, other columns or only selected. So we will choose unpivot only selected columns. So now we can see that all the columns have become rows. And these are the attributes that are years, and these are the values. Aruba in 2000 has this GDP, and you can rename these columns as year and GDP. Now we have seen how to unpivot the columns. Now pivoting is the opposite. You can convert the rows into columns. So for that we have to select both of these columns again. To select both the columns, press and hold Ctrl key and select these columns, and this time we will pivot the columns. Value column is the GDP column. Okay. Now we can see that all the rows are now the columns. So this was the pivoting and unpivoting the columns. Now we will see the appending queries. Appending queries combines rows from two or more tables with similar columns. For example, here we have three data sets of country groups, and they have the information of group of countries, means Canada is this country. So we have the country's information in the three data set. So we want to see these three data sets in one data set. So we can combine these three data sets. So how can we do that? We will select this first data set, and here in the home panel we can see the append queries. So we can again join these two tables, two queries into this query, or we can join these two and make a new query. So in our case we can use append queries. We can here we have two tables to append, but we can choose three or more tables here also, and we can add these tables. So here we will add country group 2, add, and country group 3, add, and click on OK. And now all the countries are added successfully, but we have done a small mistake. We can cross this. We can use this first row as headers. Okay. And now we will append these queries. Now we can see all the values properly. So always remember to promote the first row as headers. Now we have seen how to combine tables having same information by rows, and we have merged the two tables in the columns also. So now next we will see how to enter the data manually, like how we can enter the data by ourselves. So we can choose enter data, and we can write any value here. So we can create a table that is showing employee name. So we'll double click here. We can click simply name. Can add the column here as a roll number. and we can give as marks. Here we can enter the data. John 1 and marks is 90. And you can add the rows from clicking this plus sign, and you can insert the column by clicking this plus sign, and you can give the table name as student. You can insert the data according to you and click on OK. Now we can see here we have the student data. Now here we have the option of creating an index column. An index column in Power BI is a column that assigns a unique number to each row in your data set. This helps you keep track of rows or use the number for calculations. The index column is especially useful when your data does not have a unique identifier. Like in our case, if we use this, we can give this data 1 2 3 4 values, so we can add an index column. So click on add column. Here we have this index column, and it is asking us for from 0 or from 1. So in this case we will select from 1. So here we have a new column called index column, and it has all the 1 2 3 4. It is useful when we want to sort the data. We can give the number of series, and we can sort the data according to that. So here we have the index column. Now do in countries of world. We can sort the columns by clicking this arrow, and we have sorted it ascending or descending. Means now all the records are showing here from Z to A. We can again select sort it ascending. We can sort the numbers like this also. Now another thing we can do here, if we want to see the sales amount, total sales amount for furniture, total sales amount for clothing and electronics, so we can do this by using group by. We will select the category column and go in group by. Specify the column name as sum of choose the sum, choose the amount. So we want to see the sum of amount column for each category. So click on OK. And here there is an error. We cannot apply operator to types text. So here we have done a mistake. We can go here, and here we can see the data type for amount is text. We have to change this to whole number. For that, setting the proper data type is necessary. Now if we go in group rows, we can see all the sum of sales amount for categories are correct. So now you can see how to use group by. Now another thing we can do in transform section, we can format our text to lowercase. Here you can see uppercase, capitalize each word. Trim. By using trim, we can remove the white space before and after the word, and we can add prefix before word if we want to add a prefix. This country is. So here we can see this prefix added. Can remove this. Have the index column. Now we will see how to increase the performance of our Power BI. So Power Query lets you enable or disable certain performance setting to optimize data loading. Disabling load will remove the table from the report. So go to home. Here, if we have done some changes in the data, and now we have to load this data, but whenever we will click close and apply, all these tables will load, and that can decrease your performance. So if we want only one table in which we have done some changes, so we want that table to be load and bring that data back in report view and not the other tables. So we can just simply right click here and enable load. We can select continue, and now you can see that it has become italic, and this table will not load if you click on close and apply. So we have done all the changes, and we can click on close and apply. So here, this was our last topic, performance options. Hope you understand all the concept. Thank you for watching.